This is David Unaipon, and I reckon maybe you probably don't recognise him until I do this. Because this is him here on the $50 note in Australia. I'm making videos about all the people on the money. There is a woman named Edith Cowan on the $50 note, and I haven't made a video about her yet, but it's the next one coming, so hit subscribe if you're interested in that. This video is about David though. David Unaipon or Unaipon or what. To be honest with you, with these history videos, I do a lot of reading, I do a lot of research, but I have not heard anyone say it out loud. So it's Unaipon or Unaipon or Unaipon, but it's this guy. This is the guy we're talking about. All of these videos, I write a big long script and I want you to listen to my script. I don't want to be like doing that and whatnot, and I want you to be able to pay attention. So if you've got YouTube Premium, lock your phone screen and just listen to me from here on out. If you don't have YouTube Premium, don't lock your phone screen, but you don't need to be staring at it for, you know, the purposes of this video. There's going to be a bunch of native Australian animals on screen and whatnot, but please have a listen because I think he's fascinating. There's 3 different careers he had, and he had such success in all 3 that he probably could have been put on the 50 for any one of the 3. He invented sheep shearers, or like, not the people, but the actual machine you shear sheep with. He wrote a book that was basically, you know, children's stories or dreaming myths of the Aboriginals, but he wrote it in English so that it could appeal to a wider audience. And he submitted a petition to King George V. But I won't go into too much detail about that because I talk about it in the script. Anyway, if it sounds interesting, if you're into it, hang around, hit the like button, leave a comment, and yeah, Edith Cowan's coming next. So hit subscribe if that's what you're interested in as well. These people give me money. I like money. Consider giving me some of yours if you want. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's talk about Dave. David Unaipon, born 1872 at the Point Macleay Mission in South Australia, was an Aboriginal Australian of the Ngarrindjeri people. He's best known for his contributions to literature, science, and advocacy for Aboriginal rights. His multifaceted talents and groundbreaking achievements earned him the honour of being depicted on the Australian $50 note. This video delves into the life and accomplishments of David Unaipon, highlighting the specific achievements that led to his recognition. I've already made videos on John Monash and Nellie Melba, the Australians represented on the $100 note. I plan on making videos about all the people on all the money here in Australia. Edith Cowan is next, and on the other side of the $50 note to Unaipon. Hit subscribe if you're interested in any of that, and go poking around my channel if you want. But for now, let's talk about Dave. David Unaipon was the 4th of 9 children born to James Unaipon and Nyambulda. His father, James, was among the first Aboriginal converts to Christianity and an influential figure at the Point Macleay Mission. For those who are unfamiliar, the Point Macleay Mission was established in 1859 on the banks of Lake Alexandria in South Australia, and it was one of several missions set up ostensibly to assimilate Aboriginal people into the European ways of life. Run by a group called the Aborigines Friends Association, its primary goal was to provide education, religious instruction, and vocational training to the Ngarrindjeri people. James's involvement with the mission and his advocacy for education left a profound impact on his son David, who exhibited an insatiable curiosity and aptitude for learning from a young age. Educated at the mission school, David excelled in his studies, particularly in the fields of science and literature. His early exposure to Western education, combined with his rich cultural heritage, set the stage for his later achievements. Unaipon's inquisitive nature led him to experiment with various scientific and mechanical concepts. One of his most notable inventions was a mechanical motion device based on the principle of the boomerang. In 1909, he applied for a provisional patent for an improved sheep shearing handpiece, which revolutionised the sheep shearing industry by making the process more efficient and less labour-intensive. We don't still use the ones he invented, but he basically invented sheep shearers as we know them when you think about it. Think like the Model T when it comes to cars. Not the same as a Ford Focus today, but we wouldn't have the Focus without the T back then. Unaipon's inspiration for the mechanical shearing handpiece he invented supposedly came from observing the efficiency and effectiveness of the boomerang, a traditional Aboriginal tool known for its unique flight pattern and precision. He realised that the principles governing the boomerang's motion could be applied to improve the design of shearing tools used in the wool industry. Though Unaipon's shearing handpiece patent was granted, he faced significant challenges in securing financial backing to commercialise his invention. Despite these obstacles, his innovative spirit never wavered. He continued to explore and conceptualise various mechanical inventions throughout his life, including ideas related to helicopter flight, inspired by the flight pattern of the boomerang the whole time. Not just an inventor, David Unaipon was also a prolific writer and orator, using his talents to advocate for Aboriginal rights and share the rich cultural heritage of his people. He published numerous articles and pamphlets on Aboriginal culture, scientific concepts, and social issues at the time. His most famous work, Legendary Tales of the Australian Aborigines, was initially published in the 1920s, although it was not until 2001 that he was properly credited for this collection of traditional Aboriginal stories. You can find a free copy of his collection online at archive.org, or you can buy one at Amazon and any other bookstore that still sells the classics. Legendary Tales of the Australian Aborigines includes tales like Ngarrindjeri, a creator ancestor who shaped the landscape and established the laws of Ngarrindjeri people. It includes Tiddalik the frog, a giant frog who drank all the water, causing a drought. The animals made Tiddalik laugh and release the water. Palyara the Bat is another interesting story in the book, where a young man is transformed into a bat Freaky Friday style, teaching him lessons about accepting change and the consequences of one's actions. Then there's Waruri the magpie, the clever bird who outwits much larger animals, emphasising the value of intelligence over physical strength. I could go on and on and on forever, but it's worth downloading the book yourself if you're interested, if for nothing else other than the creation of the Southern Cross myth. The Southern Cross is the constellation on the Australian flag, well, on 5 different national flags representing countries in the Southern Hemisphere, actually. I bet you can't name all 5 in the comments section, but anyway, it's a really prominent set of stars in the sky of the Southern Hemisphere. According to the dreaming stories, ancestral beings transformed into stars and ran into the night sky to escape danger, but I won't spoil the ending for you. It's a good one. Unaipon's writings bridged the gap between Aboriginal oral traditions and Western literary forms, making the stories and wisdom of his people accessible to a much broader audience. His career as an inventor and a writer would be enough to earn him a spot on Our Money alone, I think, but there weren't even the most notable things he did on his life on balance. Especially throughout the second half of his time on Earth, Unaipon was a tireless advocate for the rights and welfare of Aboriginal Australians. He travelled extensively, speaking at public forums, churches and conferences to promote understanding and respect for Aboriginal culture and to campaign for social justice. In 1926, Unaipon was appointed as a consultant to the Aborigines Friends Association, where he worked to improve the conditions of Aboriginal people. He was particularly vocal about the need for education and equal opportunities, believing that they were crucial for the advancement and empowerment of Aboriginal communities. David Unaipon's life was marked by numerous stories that illustrate his determination, resilience, and ingenuity. One notable example of David Unaipon's dedication to research involved his regular journeys from Point Macleay Mission to Adelaide, a distance of over 80 kilometres, roughly 50 miles. He often walked this considerable distance to access the South Australian Library, which welcomed him each time. These trips were essential for Unaipon to further his scientific and literary knowledge, as the library provided resources unavailable at the mission. His determination to overcome racial and economic barriers to pursue education and innovation underscores his remarkable commitment to learning and intellectual growth. Another notable story about Unaipon is his involvement in the campaign for Aboriginal citizenship rights. It's undeniable that what I'm about to explain is the main reason he made it onto the money, because in 1934, Unaipon submitted a petition to the King of England, calling for the recognition of Aboriginal people as British subjects. Although the petition did not achieve its immediate goals, it was a significant step in the long struggle for Aboriginal rights in Australia. Although the petition did not achieve its immediate goals, it was a significant step in the long struggle for Aboriginal rights in Australia. The petition that Unaipon submitted to King George V was a formal appeal for the recognition of Aboriginal people as British subjects with the same rights and privileges as other citizens of the British Empire. Specifically, the petition called for recognition of Aboriginal people as citizens with full legal rights, including the right to vote and the right to own property. improved access to education and employment opportunities to uplift the socio-economic status of Aboriginal communities, safeguarding of Aboriginal lands from exploitation and unauthorised occupation, as well as addressing the poor living conditions and health issues faced by many Aboriginal people. To gather supports for his petition, Unaipon travelled extensively, speaking at various forums, churches and public meetings to raise awareness about the plight of Aboriginal Australians. He sought to build a coalition of support among Aboriginals and non-Aboriginal Australians, as well as influential leaders and organisations sympathetic to the cause. Despite his efforts, Unaipon faced significant challenges. The political climate of the time was not conducive to drastic changes in the status of Aboriginal people, and there were considerable resistance from various segments of society that had entrenched prejudices in regards to race. While Unaipon's petition did not achieve immediate success in terms of legislative changes, it was a crucial step in the broader movement for Aboriginal rights. The petition highlighted the systemic injustices faced by Aboriginal Australians and brought international attention to their plight for probably the first time in any major way. It laid the groundwork for future advocacy and reforms, contributing to the gradual improvement of Aboriginal rights in Australia. We still have a long way to go, but it isn't controversial to say we've also come a long way since then. The legacy of Unaipon's petition is seen in the context of the long and ongoing struggle for equality and justice for Aboriginal people. It underscores his role as a pioneering advocate for his people, using both traditional knowledge and modern legal avenues to fight for their rights in a combined manner. David Unaipon's contributions to science, literature and social advocacy were eventually recognised by the wider Australian society. He received numerous accolades during his lifetime, including the Coronation Medal in 1953. His legacy continued to grow after his death in 1967, though, culminating in his depiction on the Australian $50 note in 1995. The process of selecting David Unaipon for the $50 note involved extensive consideration of his contributions and impact on Australian society. The Reserve Bank of Australia sought to honour individuals who exemplified the nation's cultural and intellectual heritage. Unaipon's achievements in multiple fields, combined with his advocacy for Aboriginal rights, made him a fitting choice from the multiple different parts of the community which had been consulted. The decision to feature Unaipon on the $50 note was a part of a broader effort to recognise the contributions of Indigenous Australians and promote a more inclusive national identity. His inclusion on the currency serves as a reminder of the importance of acknowledging and celebrating the diverse contributions of all Australians. David Unaipon's life and the work embody the spirit of innovation, resilience and advocacy. His contributions to science, literature and social justice have left an indelible mark on Australian society. By featuring him on the $50 note, Australia not only honours his legacy, but also promotes a more inclusive and respectful understanding of its history and cultural heritage. David Unaipon's story is a testament to the power of knowledge, perseverance and the enduring quest for equality and recognition. But that concludes this script, guys. My last two videos were on John Monash and Nellie Melba, who were a military commander and an opera singer respectively. And my next script will be written about Edith Cohen, the woman Unaipon shares the $50 note with. These history videos take way more time and effort than my silly YouTube shorts, so if you want to reward that effort, I would be very much appreciative. The people on screen right now give me a minimum of $1 per month. Your name could be in that list too if you did it as well. I like money. Turning some of yours into mine on a monthly basis would be ideal, but there's no pressure to do that. If you're still listening at this point, please hit the like button, leave a comment of any kind, and hit the share button, then copy link. It doesn't matter if you send it to anyone, as long as the algorithm thinks you did, I'll be sweet. And that's the end of the video, guys. I can go and spend this prop now. I literally went like a week and a half ago and got it out at the bank, and I was like, I can't spend that 50 until I use it as a prop in my videos. So now I've used it, I can go and spend it. I'm happy with that. As I said, these guys give me money. I like money. Turning some of your money into mine would be great. Failing that, tell me some cool Australian stories and I'll tell other people about them. Leave a comment in the comments section if you want to learn more. Hit the subscribe button, hit the like button. You know how YouTube works. Apologies once again if I'm getting pronunciations wrong. I'm more than likely getting pronunciations wrong. I've never heard the words said out loud before that I'm saying out loud to you guys, so them's the breaks, I guess. But yeah, any second, On screen will be some other videos of mine. Click one of them. Do me a solid. I'll see you guys when I look at you. You'll see me when you look at me. Thanks so much for watching.